Welcome to today's episode of A Blueprint for Global Unity. I'm Andrew Johnson, and with me today is Helen Taylor. In this episode, we'll dive into a vision of a united world, one where we don't just dream of peace and prosperity, but actually build it together. The idea was conceived and described by Antonio Ragusa in his book, United States of the World, A Blueprint for Global Peace and Prosperity.
That's right, Andrew. The idea of unity isn't just about harmony. It's about solving the big issues we face: climate change, pandemics, inequality, and wars. These problems affect all of us, yet we still try to solve them in isolation. Today, we'll explore how a united world could end those struggles.
It's hard to imagine, right? A world where nations aren't divided by borders, armies, and competing interests. What if every person, regardless of where they were born, had the same rights, the same access to health care, and the same protection?
Exactly. Right now, where you're born defines so much. If you're born in Norway, you're guaranteed a good education and healthcare. But if you're born in a country like Afghanistan or South Sudan, those basic rights aren't even a given. Why? Because of borders, national sovereignty, and the inequality that follows.
And that's a huge issue. This divide between nations isn't just a political problem. It's a moral and practical one. For example, war is an obvious result of a world divided by borders. When nations see each other as separate entities with their own agendas, conflict arises. But what if, like the US or the EU, we could see every country as a part of something bigger, something unified?
Right. Antonio Ragusa's idea is that, much like the United States of America, we could have a world that operates as a union, where we still honor local traditions and identities, but work together for a shared future. It's not about erasing cultural diversity. It's about creating a global community that works toward peace and prosperity for all.
And the benefits are not just philosophical, they're very real and practical. Think about the money spent on military forces around the world. In 2024, global military spending hit $2.6 trillion. Imagine what that could do if redirected to solving global issues: healthcare, education, climate action.
It's mind-boggling. And that's just military spending. What about trade wars, tariffs, or currency manipulation? A unified global economy would eliminate these barriers. Countries would stop competing for economic dominance and instead work together to create a fairer system for all.
And here's the kicker. These problems, like climate change, don't care about borders. A wildfire in Canada affects the air quality in New York. Carbon emissions from China impact glaciers in Antarctica. Yet, nations keep making promises they don't enforce. What if there was a single global system that could create and enforce laws on emissions, for example?
That's exactly the vision. A world that tackles climate change with the urgency it deserves. The United States of the world would create a global climate authority that could set and enforce carbon emission standards. No more voluntary pledges, only real binding actions.
No more waiting around for one country to lead. Every nation would be part of the solution, and it wouldn't stop at climate change. Think about global health. The COVID-19 pandemic showed us just how fragile the world is when countries act in isolation. But with a unified system, we could have coordinated global responses, ensuring vaccines, medical supplies, and support get to where they're needed most, fast.
Exactly. And that's the key. A united world means faster, more coordinated responses to pandemics, to global health crises, and to climate disasters. We'd have a single global healthcare authority, a global peace force, a unified economic system, all working for the greater good of humanity.
It's a big ask, but as we've seen in history, unity works. The European Union brought together nations with centuries of conflict. The U.S. united 13 colonies to form one nation. There are countless examples of smaller entities coming together for the collective good. So, why not the world?
And let's not forget the economic side. The United States of the world wouldn't just create a single global currency. It would eliminate tax havens, reduce financial speculation, and create a more stable global economy Every nation would contribute to solving global issues like poverty, education, and climate change through a fair global tax system.
Right? We could take that $2.6 trillion not to fund armies, but to fund projects that actually improve lives, clean energy, universal health care, education for all. Imagine redirecting the resources that go into creating division and using them to create a more just and prosperous world.
But Andrew, even with all these benefits, some people might argue, what about sovereignty? Wouldn't a world government infringe on a nation's autonomy?
That's a great point, Helene. But think about it this way. Sovereignty doesn't have to be all or nothing. Just like in the US or the EU, nations could maintain a degree of independence, handling local matters, but when it comes to issues that affect everyone, like climate change or war, the global system would step in. It's about balance, not control.
Exactly. The principle of subsidiarity ensures that decisions are made at the level closest to the people, but global issues are handled globally. The global constitution would guarantee universal rights, education, healthcare, freedom, and a global Supreme Court would ensure that those rights are upheld everywhere.
That's what it comes down to, making sure that no one is left behind, regardless of where they're born. No more statelessness, no more inequality based on geography. We'd all be global citizens with the same rights and responsibilities.
And the real beauty of this vision is that it's not a utopian dream. It's a necessary evolution of the human story. History has shown us time and again that unity brings peace, stability, and progress. The next step is clear: the United States of the world.
So, where do we go from here? What can we do as individuals to move this vision forward? It starts with raising awareness, engaging in global conversations, and demanding that our leaders take action. This is our shared future, and it's time we embrace it.
Absolutely. Global unity isn't just a lofty idea, it's a practical solution. It's the path forward. In his book, Antonio Ragusa describes the project and the action plan in greater detail. We warmly suggest that you read it. The question is, will we take it?
That's something we all need to think about. Until next time, keep the conversation going. Unity is possible. Together, we can make it happen.
Thanks for listening, and take care.